This is Everyday Tension. Real stories based on real experiences about everyday conflicts people rarely talk about. This story was shared anonymously. If you'd like, you can support the channel by liking or subscribing and let me know in the comments where you're listening from. Here's what happened.
I met Alex at a work conference. It wasn't a dramatic meet cute. I was grabbing a stale croissant from the back of the room. He was pouring what passed for coffee. We got talking because we were the only two people under 40 who looked miserable to be there. He made a joke about the speaker's tie. I laughed. We exchanged cards. It was simple. A week later, he emailed me a link to an article about corporate jargon, referencing something we'd talked about. I wrote back. It became a thing. We'd email a few times a week, then every day. The emails were easy. They were funny. They didn't feel like work. After a month of that, he asked me out for a proper coffee, not the conference kind. I said yes. The first date was good. He was the same in person as he was in writing. He listened. They remembered things. He told me about his family, how close they were. He grew up in the same town he lived in now, about an hour away from the city where I'd moved for work. His parents were still there. His sister was a 30-minute drive in the other direction. They had Sunday dinners. They took family vacations. It sounded nice to me. My own family is scattered. We talk on birthdays and Christmas, but it's not like that. I liked the idea of it. Sarah came up about 3 months in. We were at his apartment, ordering takeout. His phone buzzed and he smiled at the screen. Sarah just sent the funniest video of her dog, he said. He showed me. It was a dog trying to catch a treat on its nose. It was cute. I asked who Sarah was. He said, "Oh, my ex. We dated for a long time. It didn't work out, but we're still friends. Our families are close." He said it so casually, like he told me the time. I nodded. I didn't know what to say. It felt weird to have an issue with it right then. He was being open. It seemed like a green flag, like everyone says. Healthy, mature. I pushed the weird feeling down. Over time, I learned more. Sarah wasn't just an ex. She was woven into the fabric of his life. She'd been at his sister's baby shower. She sent his mum flowers on her birthday. She came to their 4th of July barbecue. I didn't meet her for a long time, almost a year, but I heard about her. His mum would say, "Sarah loved that restaurant," or his sister would mention, "Sarah helped me pick out this stroller." It was never malicious, it was just a fact. Sarah was there. Sarah had been there. Sarah still was there. When I finally met her, it was at his parents' anniversary party, a big backyard thing. Alex introduced us. She was nice, polite. She shook my hand and said, "I've heard so much about you. It's great to finally meet you." She meant it. She wasn't cold or catty. She was just nice. And that made it worse, somehow. It's easier to be angry at a caricature. She was a real person, smiling, asking me about my job. She spent most of the party talking to Alex's aunts, laughing easily. She knew everyone. They all hugged her. I stood with Alex, feeling like a guest. She felt like family. On the drive home, I was quiet. Alex asked what was wrong. I didn't know how to explain it. Saying I'm uncomfortable because your ex-girlfriend is lovely and well integrated sounded insane. So I said, "It's nothing. Tired." He squeezed my hand and said, "I'm glad you two finally met. I knew you'd like her." I just looked out the window. The proposal was a surprise. We'd talked about marriage in a vague, someday kind of way. We'd been together for 2 years. He did it on a weekend hike, at a lookout point. It was sweet. It was private. I said yes. I was happy. Truly. We drove straight to his parents' house to tell them. They were thrilled. His mum cried. His dad clapped Alex on the back. His sister came over with her kids. There was champagne. It felt real. It felt like I was being pulled into that circle I'd admired from the outside. The wedding planning started almost immediately. His mum, Linda, called me next day. She offered her help. I thought it was generous. At first it was. She had a folder of venue recommendations. She knew a florist who did her other daughter's wedding. It felt supportive. Alex and I wanted a medium-sized wedding, about 100 people. We agreed on a budget. We found a venue we liked, an old barn turned into an event space. We booked it for the end of summer. That's when things started to shift. The guest list. Linda asked for our preliminary list. I sent over my side, which was small. Maybe 30 people, including plus ones. Alex worked on his. A week later, Linda asked to meet for lunch. Just the two of us. We met at a little cafe. She had a notebook. She was warm, smiling. She said, "I've been looking at your list, honey. It's just, Alex's side is going to be much bigger. We have a large family, and then there are all the old family friends. And, Alex has known a lot of these people his whole life." I said, "That was fine. We expected that." Then she turned a page in her notebook. "I've taken the liberty of drafting a more complete list for his side, just to help." She slid the notebook over. I looked down the list. It had over 80 names. Many I didn't recognize, cousins I'd never met, friends of his parents, work colleagues of his dad. And then, near the bottom, I saw it. Sarah. Sarah with a +1. I must have stared at it for too long. Linda said, "Is everything okay?" I pointed to the name. "Sarah?" "Oh yes," Linda said, smiling. "Of course. She's practically family. She'd be so hurt if she wasn't invited." I felt my face get hot. I don't know if that's a good idea." Linda's smile didn't falter, but her eyes got a little sharper. "Why ever not? She and Alex are still wonderful friends. We all adore her. It would be very awkward to exclude her." "It's our wedding," I said, hearing how weak my voice sounded. "I just think I'd be more comfortable if she wasn't there." Linda reached over and patted my hand. "I understand it might feel a little strange at first. But trust me, sweetie, it's for the best. It's a tradition, in a way. We've always included former partners who are still in the fold. It shows there are no hard feelings. It's the mature thing to do. Alex would want her there." She said it so matter-of-factly, as if she'd just explained why we needed to order extra napkins. I didn't know what to say. I mumbled something about needing to talk to Alex. She said, "Of course, talk to him. He'll explain it better than I can." The lunch ended soon after. She hugged me goodbye. I sat in my car for a long time, just staring at the steering wheel. That night, I brought it up with Alex. We were at my apartment, eating pizza. I said, "Your mum showed me the guest list today. She has Sarah on it." He took a bite of pizza. "Yeah, I figured she would be." "You figured?" "Well, yeah, she's a friend. She's part of the extended crowd. Of course she's invited." I put my slice down. "Alex, it's our wedding. Having your ex-girlfriend there, it makes me uncomfortable. It feels wrong." He wiped his hands on a napkin. "Babe, come on, it's not like that. Sarah and I are done, have been for years, you know that. She's just a friend now, and she's my parents' friend. It's a family tradition, of sorts. You don't just cut people out because you broke up. It would be rude. It would cause a whole thing." "A whole thing," I repeated. "What does that mean?" "It would make it awkward for my parents, for my sister. Sarah's parents are friends with mine. It's a small town. It's just not how we do things. We're polite. We include people." "Even at your own son's wedding?" I asked. "Your mum said it was the maturest thing to do. Like I'm being immature for not wanting her there." "I didn't say you were immature," he said, but his tone was getting defensive. "I'm just saying, you're looking at it the wrong way. It's not about her being my ex. It's about her being a family friend. You're making it into something it's not. I'm making it into something. I could hear my voice rising. How do you think it feels for me? To stand up there and see someone you spent 5 years with sitting in the audience, smiling. Everyone knowing your history. It undermines the whole day for me. He sighed, a long, tired sound. So what do you want me to do? Call her up and say, sorry, my fiancé is insecure, you can't come. That's humiliating. For her, for me, for my family. The word insecure felt like a slap. It's not about insecurity. It's about boundaries. It's about our day being about us. It is about us. Her being there doesn't change that. You're letting one person ruin the whole event in your head before it even happens. He got up and took his plate to the sink. The conversation was over, in his mind. We didn't talk about it for a few days. The silence was heavy. I kept thinking about it. I tried to see it from his side. Maybe I was being unreasonable. Maybe this was normal for some families. Maybe I just needed to get over it. But every time I pictured the day, I saw her. I saw her chatting with his aunts. I saw her dancing. I saw people maybe wondering, just for a second, if he'd made the right choice. It made my stomach hurt. A week later, his sister, Megan, texted me. There was a photo of centerpiece ideas. Mom and I were thinking something like this. What do you think? It was a friendly text, normal wedding planning stuff. But it felt like an invasion. Like they were steamrolling ahead, and my objection to Sarah was just a minor bump they expected me to get over. I texted back a thumbs up emoji. I texted back at 14 p.m. with my friend Grasti Ha. It was tense. Usually these dinners were loud and chaotic. That night, it was quieter. His mom was extra nice to me, asking about my work, complimenting my hair. It felt performative, like she was trying to smooth things over without actually addressing the thing that needed smoothing. After dinner, Alex and his dad went to the garage to look at something on the car. I was in the kitchen with Linda, helping load the dishwasher. So, she said, handing me a plate. Have you and Alex talked more about the guest list? A little, I said. I hope he helped you see it from our perspective. It really is for the best. I stopped putting silverware in the basket. Linda, with all respect, it's not about your perspective. It's about how I feel. I'm the bride. It's my wedding too. Her expression softened into something pitying. I know, dear, and your feelings are important. But marriage is about blending families. It's about compromise. This is a small compromise for family harmony. You'll understand once you're part of the family. That phrase, once you're part of the family, hung in the air. It felt conditional. I would be part of the family when I started acting like it, when I fell in line. I didn't say anything else. I just finished loading the dishwasher. On the drive home, Alex was quiet too. Then he said, "You upset my mom." I looked at him. I upset her? By having a feeling? By being inflexible? She's just trying to help. She wants everything to be perfect. Perfect for who? I asked. He didn't answer. The next 2 weeks were a blur of slow, creeping dread. We argued about it 3 more times. Each argument was the same, just louder. He accused me of not trying to understand his family's culture. I accused him of not prioritizing me. He said I was causing drama over nothing. I said he was dismissing me. We stopped talking about the wedding altogether. We talked about bills, about what to watch on TV, about anything else. The wedding plans kept moving forward. His mom and Megan booked a florist. They put down a deposit on a bakery. They did it all through Alex, sending him emails and asking for his approval. He'd forward them to me with a note, "What do you think?" I'd reply, "Fine," or "Looks good." I was disconnecting. The final straw was an email about seating charts. Linda had sent a draft. She'd seated Sarah at a table with Alex's cousins, people her own age. She'd even noted Sarah plus guest. I stared at it. It was so official. It was done. In their minds, it was settled. I called Alex at work. He sounded busy. "Hey, can this wait?" "No," I said. "I just got the seating chart from your mum. Sarah is on it." A pause. A sigh. "Okay. And? I can't do this, Alex. I can't. I told you how I felt. You and your family are just ignoring it. You're making all the decisions. My feelings don't matter." "That's not true," he said, his voice tight. "Your feelings matter, but so do the feelings of everyone else involved. This isn't just your day. It's my day too. It's my family's day. You're asking me to create a huge rift over something that, in the grand scheme of things, is trivial. I'm not willing to do that. I thought you'd come around." "Come around," I repeated flatly. "You thought I'd just get tired of having a boundary and give up. I thought you'd realize you were making a mountain out of a molehill. For God's sake, she's just a person I used to date. She's not a threat to you." If you trusted me, if you trusted us, this wouldn't be an issue. It always circled back to that, to me not being trusting enough, not being mature enough, not being accommodating enough. I was the problem. My discomfort was the flaw. I felt very calm then, the kind of calm that comes when a decision has finally been made and there's no more arguing left in you. "Okay," I said. "Okay what?" he asked. "Okay, you're right. It's your day too. And you should have it exactly how you want it." I hung up. I didn't cry. I went to my laptop. I found the contact for the venue. I called them and cancelled. I cited irreconcilable differences. I knew I'd lose the deposit. I didn't care. I called the caterer, the baker, the florist his mum had booked. I cancelled everything that was in my name. It took about 2 hours. My voice was steady the whole time. Then I texted Alex. "I've cancelled the venue and the vendors I booked. The wedding is off. I'll bring a ring over tomorrow." My phone blew up immediately. Calls from him, from his mom, from Megan. I silenced it. I turned it off. I sat on my couch and stared at the wall. I felt empty. And then I felt a sharp, terrifying sense of relief. The next day, I drove to his apartment. I hadn't slept. He opened the door. He looked awful, angry, confused, tired. "What the hell did you do?" he said, not letting me in. I held out the ring box. I meant what I said. "I can't marry you." "Because of Sarah? You're throwing everything away because of one guest?" "No," I said. My voice was quiet. "I'm calling it off because when I told you I was hurt and uncomfortable, you told me I was wrong to feel that way. You chose your family's tradition over my peace of mind. You showed me that when there's a conflict, I will always be the one who has to bend, even on my wedding day. I don't want that life." "You're being ridiculous!" he shouted. A neighbor's door cracked open, then closed. "You're overreacting. This is insane. Do you know how much money you've wasted? Do you know how much you've embarrassed me and my family?" "I'm sure they'll get over it," I said. I set the ring box on the small table by his door. "I'm sorry it ended this way." I turned and walked back to my car. He didn't follow me. He was still standing in his doorway, yelling something I chose not to hear. The fallout was what you'd expect. My phone, once I turned it back on, was full of mess. His family was furious. Long texts from Linda about how selfish I was, how I'd humiliated them, how I'd broken her son's heart. Texts from Megan calling me a drama queen. Alex sent a few pleading ones, asking me to reconsider, to go to counseling, before they turned into angry ones accusing me of sabotaging the relationship because I was scared of commitment. My own family was confused. My mom asked if we'd tried talking it through. My dad said it seemed like a drastic step. Some of my friends were fiercely supportive. Others asked, gently, if maybe I could have just sucked it up for one day. One friend said, "It's just a wedding. The marriage is what matters. Couldn't you have gotten through the day and then set boundaries later?" I didn't have a good answer. Maybe she was right. But in that moment, the wedding felt like a test. And I had failed. Or maybe I had refused to take it. I spent the next month in a fog. I went to work, I came home, I ate food that didn't taste like anything. I'd lie to the venue. There were those slide in the movie that would not be unlikely when I'd see everything back on the road. One line I couldn't cross, and it felt so stupid when I said it out loud. My fiancé's ex was invited to the wedding. It sounded so small, petty, but it wasn't small to me. It was the concrete evidence of a pattern I'd been refusing to see. The pattern was that my feelings were negotiable. His family's comfort was not. I would always be the new one, the one who had to adapt, to assimilate. Sarah wasn't a villain. She was just a symbol. A symbol of a world that was already complete without me and wasn't planning to change to make room for me. I was supposed to squeeze into the existing space, even if it didn't fit. Alex and I have not spoken in 4 months. Mutual friends tell me things. He's angry. His family tells everyone I had a breakdown, that I was unstable. I heard through a friend of a friend that they think I did it to get attention. That hurts, but what can I do? I can't correct the story. Sometimes, in the middle of the night, I wonder if I made a mistake. I think about the good things, how he made me laugh, how he remembered my coffee order, how he looked at me when I walked into a room. I miss that. I miss the future I thought we had. The house, the kids, the Sunday dinners. I think about it and my chest aches. But then I think about that lunch with Linda. I think about the pity in her eyes when she said, "You'll understand once you're part of the family." I think about Alex's sigh, the one that meant I was being difficult again. I think about the seating chart with Sarah's name on it. And I know, even if it was a mistake, it's my mistake. I chose my own peace over their harmony. I drew a line. Now I have to live on my side of it. It's quieter over here, lonelier, sometimes. But it's mine. No one is patting my hand and telling me my feelings are wrong. No one is sighing at me. The silence is my own. I still have the wedding dress. It's in a garment bag at the back of my closet. I should probably sell it or donate it. But I haven't yet. I don't know why. It's not like I'm holding out hope. It's more like a reminder. A reminder that I said no. When everything and everyone was telling me to say yes, to go along, to be a good sport, I said no. It was the hardest thing I've ever done. And some days, I'm not even sure it was the right thing. I just know I did it. And now, this is my life.